Hello everyone, today I'm going to be showing you some bugs I encountered during my playtest of our game. So here we are. Let's start off with the major bugs. Okay, when I encountered the enemy tyrant, which is the enemies that are chasing you in the node map, they're really laggy. So let me show you what I mean. So let's jump into a pirate. Let me skip this part. Okay, so I'm about to jump into an enemy tyrant. Yeah, as you can see, it's already getting pretty laggy on my end. It's pretty difficult to play with them. And I don't think they even do anything for now, or it's just really slow. Okay, no. They're already shooting. Yeah, game gets pretty laggy on this part. So yeah, that's one thing. Another thing is that I think I tried to play with the tyrant, but at some point they stopped shooting. It's another thing. Maybe around here, yeah. Another thing is the hull destroyer and the laser stop shooting randomly. I don't know if I can replicate this, but I think, yeah, at some point they would stop shooting randomly. Hold on, let me show you. Okay, so never mind. I think I figured it out when I was testing it again. Apparently, if you're on auto fire and you selected an enemy ship and you run out of energy, that's when it stops. The auto fire stops working. So what you have to do is, I think even if I do this, and yeah, this too, it doesn't work. What you have to do is place it again somewhere else for it to recharge. So yeah, that's kind of a major bug. Next up is, I think this is for debugging, but when you double left click the enemy, not for the crew but for the enemy, they just die instantly. Oh, sorry, because I have a crew selected, but look, yeah, this might just be for debugging, so I'll leave it at that. And then the game doesn't end when the player captain dies. So I think I encountered a time where the enemies invaded. Maybe we can replicate that somehow. But it has to be an invader. But yeah, when the enemy invaded my ship and they killed everyone, it did not game over. Only time I got game over is when the enemy destroyed my ship. So that's another thing that needs to be fixed, because the captain is pretty important. Next up is enemy crew fights air when you relocate during combat. So that's kind of funny, because when I was fighting the enemy, maybe I could show you. Hold on. Okay, so we're about to enter invasion, and I'm gonna let them attack me. So yeah, another thing that you notice is, let's say I select my characters, I move them over here. Oh, sorry, the game crashed, so let me reload that. Okay, so as you can see, the enemy is about to fight. Let me move my characters, let's say, over here. Yeah, they kind of cross paths in the same room. Let's move them here. And my game crashed again. Okay, let's try this again. Let me move my characters over here. So as you can see, they kind of cross paths in the same room, but they don't really fight each other, which is a bit odd. There. They kind of focus on the systems first before any of my crew members, which is kind of an issue. Yeah, and another thing is, even if I right click on the enemy, I have my crew selected like this. They don't go to the room. You have to click on the room that they're in on. Let's say select and then right click the room. That's when they start fighting. So yeah, they do end up fighting. One of them is just stuck not doing anything. So yeah, they're kind of waiting for their turn. So yeah, they do their fighting. And then we win. Hold on. Yeah, so that's another problem. Oh yeah, I forgot to show you how this works. Sorry. Let me do that real quick. Okay, let me show you this weird bug that happens. They go into the room and they're fighting. Okay, they're fighting like this. Yeah, once you start fighting, and then I move my character somewhere else, like here. Hold on. Yeah, I don't know what's going there. Okay. They're now fighting, and then I move them somewhere else. See, they'll still end up fighting even on this range. Yeah, so what happens is you just all lose. Another issue is you can switch mid-battle their weapons like this from the enemy in your side. So they're gonna fight again. And then I'll move them over on this side. So yeah, they're still fighting. Even on this range, even the melee guy. So yeah, that's kind of a big issue with the combat we have for now. Yeah, again, you can switch the crew and enemy's items. And interestingly, you can disable the enemy ship system. So I can just go ahead and do this. And their systems would not work. Another thing is, you notice my captain died, but I did not end the game. The game did not end. Another bug here is that the enemies, when they invaded, they'll attack every system. Hold on. Let's wait for it to break like this, and then they'll stop. Even though I have a crew alive here. So yeah, maybe that's a part of what the AI should work on, but yeah, they just stop like this. Oh yeah, and in the invaders, in order for you to win, you need to defeat the enemy captain. But for invaders, they don't have an enemy captain, so what happens is that it kind of, even if you beat all of them, I think you're not able to win the game. Yeah. Okay, let's just ignore this. I think we already talked about that. And yeah, when you enter a new node, it does not immediately pause. That should be kind of the standard every time you enter a new node. Let's see if I can lose here. And yeah, nothing happened. So that's kind of another thing. Start a new game. Yeah, it doesn't pause when I go here, for example. No, just immediately in the battle. That's another issue. And there's lots of other minor bugs here. I'll talk about with the programmer. But these are some of the major bugs. And yeah, for some of the questions I have is this: when you fire a hull destroy, does it not consume energy? Because when I played, it does not consume energy, it only consumes the ammo. Which maybe is an issue. Let's kind of see what will happen. I'm gonna pick hull destroyer. We're gonna equip it actually. Like this. I think, let's see if I try shooting it. Okay, never mind. It used up an energy. I think when I tried it before, it did not use an energy. But no, it's okay. It's okay now. So kind of the question is, does it consume energy or not? And should you be able to disable the engine or the cockpit? Like doing this to yourself and the enemy? What happens if you do that? Because if you do that, the engine still works. It still generates energy. And the steering wheel, only thing this does is to evade, but it does not become zero here. It might just be another bug. Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the update I have for the playtest. For the other bugs here, you can take a look at it. But most of these are the major ones. The minor stuff is maybe for more in the polishing, but still we need to talk about it. And yeah, that should be it for this video. Oh, I've also added the characters into the UI here. Let me show you real quick. Some more artists made some characters, and we can kind of change here how they look like. I added all the characters here so we can quickly switch between them like so, and then they would appear in the UI for us to take a look at. Yeah, for my next steps, we'll talk about that in the meeting, but here are some of them. And yeah, that should be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.